Stay tuned for the attack of the 6-string princesses.
Dude, awesome title. Thank you. I'm using it for this episode. Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It is Friday, January the 6th, 2023. Hope you had an amazing and very safe New Year. Anyway, we're going to get the weekend started the right way with an episode of SMG Viewers Comments, the show that's about you, not about me. And of course, we had about 500,000 comments on that pickup shootout video. Turns out everybody seems to have an opinion on that. Some pretty interesting stuff to say the least. Let's get right to it, shall we?
Once again, almost everybody can hear the big differences. Not many can hear the more subtle stuff. That's why it makes a bigger difference to those who have a better ear.
Well, okay, congratulations on your heightened senses with your hearing. That's fantastic. You've obviously got better hearing than most of us. I don't know, though. Personally, I think my sense of smell has been heightened slightly because I smell bullshit with that statement.
Makes a difference, end of story. I agree with many tests before, but this one, nah.
Hey, you know what? It's your prerogative to disagree. That's absolutely fine. I'm just kind of curious. What part did you disagree with? The part where I showed how changing the speaker makes massive changes in tone, and then changing the mic makes massive changes in tone, and moving the mic position around makes massive changes in tone, and then how changing the pickup makes very, very, very tiny changes in tone. What did I do wrong there? Please let me know. That way I can make a better test and hopefully help a lot more people understand what's going on. Didn't say pickups don't change the tone. I said pickups might not be worth the expense. Because if you've got pickups that work, that aren't microphonic or causing all kinds of noise issues, you know what? They're probably right for your guitar. My ultimate goal here is not to make people look stupid. It's to help them make informed choices when they walk into guitar stores and ultimately save them money.
These generic pickups sound similar. Try bare knuckle.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the problem, that I wasn't using bare knuckle pickups. Great idea, man! Maybe we can do a round 2 of this test. That might be a lot of fun. I'll be sure to see if I get some bare knuckles in there, as well as all these other brands that people suggested I get. You know what? Might be a fun video. Might be worth a revisit. Might take a little longer to do than the one I just did because hot swappable pickups are really easy to do, whereas, wiring them in the traditional way, that's a pretty freaking big job.
Reading this comment section is hilarious. I guess tone is a really difficult thing for people to grasp. All of those that say they can hear a difference really can't explain it, or they use a different property that is not tone. Sustain is not tone. Clarity is not tone. Output level is not tone. Compression is not tone. Noise level is not tone.
Dude, thank you so much for spelling all that out. I'm still screaming at guitar players to get them to understand when you bend a string, the way you bend a string is not tone either. That's technique. Of course, we're looking at things from a recording engineer's perspective. Hence the name of the show, Spectre Sound Studios. It's not Spectre Sound Guitar Players channel. I'm looking at things like, how's this going to affect the tone that's going to be coming across the monitors that I have to give to a client? I want to know what's making the changes there. All you guys were going on about the pickup shootout, say, well, I can hear a difference, I can hear a difference. Yes, it's very, very, very slight. And in the context of a full mix is probably pretty close to meaningless. I'm more worried about, hey, am I going to mic this up? Is it going to sound good? That's my perspective on things. It's all in the context of recording. And yes, the way how you pick your guitar is not tone.
Interesting. I figured pickups would do a lot more, being the prime mover of the guitar's signal.
You know what? I was right there with you. I thought that was a huge influencing factor as well, concerning all the literature and articles and online forum comments that I've read over the years, all going on and on and on and on and on about pickups. And then you find out what actually does change the tone, and then you find out just how little information there is on that. That's the real kick in the balls, that's for sure.
Cool video. Did you notice any difference in feel? I find playing an active V passive offers a different experience, and actives maybe play easier, if that makes sense. Maybe it'd be a good video to see if people can pick between the two. In a mix, not sure I could. Anywho, keep up the good work.
Not sure if I felt the difference there or not, Matt. I mean, like, from pickup to pickup to pickup, the guitar felt like a guitar. Hey guys, this episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by 70,000 Tons of Metal. Now, if you're into metal and you want to get over the midwinter blahs, get some sun, and have the most fun you are ever going to have with your clothes on, then this is the event to be part of. From January 30th to February 3rd, 70,000 Tons of Metal sails from Miami to Bimini and back, with concerts going on constantly. Now, I did this cruise back in 2019, and it was an absolute blast. It was 4.5 days of absolutely nothing but metal. Now, you can see as many shows as you like, sit in the sun, do an excursion, work out in the gym. Hell, you can just hang out in the hot tub if you like. And there's all kinds of special events as well. There's meet and greets with the artists, the belly flop contest, and even all-night metal karaoke. The food is great, the music is great, and most importantly, the people are absolutely amazing. 60 bands are going to be on board, and at the time of shooting this, 31 have been announced, including Cynic, Camelot, Uli Roth, and Nightwish, not to mention Jungle Rot, Creator, and Destruction, with many more to be announced over the coming days. This is going to be the metal event of the year, and I can't wait to do it again. Check out 70000tons.com to get your tickets today, and I hope to see you on board.
If you want to give your opinion on pickups, try making your own first instead of talking shit about things you know nothing about!
Hey Murray, thanks so much for writing in. Here's the thing, if you want people to take your product seriously, maybe don't scream about things like a 2-year-old when somebody makes a video you don't like. That being said, you've commented on my last few videos and I really do appreciate that. And I might be willing to check out your product at some time in the future. Alongside of several other people have reached out to me in the wake of that video releasing, well, you should try my pickup as well. Now, here's the thing, you're close to being right. I don't know nothing about pickups, but I know very little. But what I do know is how to record guitar, because I've been doing that for the last couple of decades. And after searching for certain tones over the years and making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake and just failing forward, I found that the key ingredient that was missing from my tone was not pickups, because believe me, I've got a bunch of different guitars with a bunch of different kinds of pickups, and none of them were giving me the sound I was looking for. The key to the tone is the speaker. I can't say it any more plainly than that. And in the pickup shootout video I just released, we changed out the speaker, we changed out the microphone, we moved the microphone around. All of those things made massive shifts in the tone. The pickups did not. You can get mad about it all you want, but I invite you to present evidence that shows otherwise. Thank you so much.
This test proves nothing! But enough for me to check out the cheap Roswell pickups for my DIY Les Paul over the higher priced Seymour Duncans. Thanks for the honest test. It helped me and maybe cured a myth in my mind.
It might. I've got a couple guitars with some Roswells on them. Hold on. Yeah, you know what? Roswells aren't half bad. Here's a Harley Benton Doulahan. Gorgeous looking guitar. It's definitely got its own thing going on tone-wise. I don't know if it's because of the string or the bridge. I don't know if the pickups are giving it its unique sound. I don't have enough evidence, nor have I dropped any other pickups in to compare it to. So there is that. I reviewed that Harley Benton Fusion last summer as well. That has some Roswells, and that guitar was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, Roswells might be just the thing you're looking for. Then again, they might suck if they feed back or if they're microphonic. Get the Seymours. Now, is one pickup brand going to have a tone advantage over the other? There's definitely a pricing difference, but as for tone, that remains to be seen. I'm sure you're going to read a lot of different opinions on forums, and I'm sure almost none of them are going to have any kind of A-B comparisons to back up their statements. Don't you just love the information age? All the information with none of the confirmation.
Hi Glenn, I've been working on my new album for 2 years now. The one thing I never get solved was the guitar tone. I bought so many IRs and they all never really worked for me. And you're one now. Man, that's it. Exactly this tone was the tone I was looking for. Thanks for this impressive IR and great content. Stay exactly as they are. Greetings from Vienna.
Hey there, Mitigator One. Thanks so much for writing in. Greetings from Canada. Hey, I was in Vienna last August. Had a blast. Vienna's a wonderful city. Great people, great food. It's so chill there. It's such a cool vibe. Hopefully I'll get to go back this summer and do some more videos with the Lewitt crew. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, as for the IR thing, guys, if you didn't know, I released a free IR on Christmas Day. It was from some new vintage 30s that I'm working with, and it was my gift to you. I'm gonna have a link to that in the description below, because if you're struggling with your tone, grab this. You might be pretty surprised by the results.
I'm having an ungodly amount of fun playing Fluff's 5034 amp sim into this IR. Isn't that what playing music is all about? Actually fucking enjoying it?
No, it's about tubes. It's about Tonewood. It's about making me feel superior to everybody else. At least that's what it's turned into. Isn't that a fucking shame? Anyway, glad you're enjoying the IR. And if you like that, you're really going to like what's coming out from Spectre Digital at the end of the month. I can't wait to announce it. We've been working on this one, 4 or 5 years, and it's finally gonna be ready. I think you guys are gonna like.
Would you mind explaining why you should turn off the IR on an amp sim when playing with an amp sim with a real cap? I'm using a neural DSP plugin and I'm not sure if I should turn the cap section off or not. Also, do I need some external power amp if doing that?
Okay, cool. Great question. I'm sure if you're new at this, you're gonna get confused. The problem with running a cabinet simulation into an actual cabinet is you're kind of stacking them. And the tone will be very muddy and woofy and just won't sound very good. So if you're going into like a traditional cabinet with a traditional guitar cab, yeah, you want to turn off the simulation. You don't want a simulation going into the real thing. It's just not going to sound very good. I've got a friend of mine who's in a band right now, and he's playing with a dude who has a Kemper, and he refuses to turn off the cabinet part of the simulation, even though he's going into a power amp and a Marshall cab. I'm sure it sounds fucking wonderful. And that's the thing, yes, you're going to need power to go between your amp sim and the cabinet for stage volume. Now, one of my favorite solutions is the Seymour Duncan Power Stage. This thing's 700 watts. It's a class AB power section, and it really kicks ass. Actually, I did a video there last year called the Ultimate Small Gig Rig, and we actually used this along with a Quad Cortex and a Zillet 2x12, and we just got a phenomenal guitar sound. And it really doesn't weigh all that much. So yeah, there's a couple things you're gonna need to make that happen, and a power section is going to be one of them. Yeah, definitely check this thing out. It's fucking awesome.
I'd say even test out a premium boutique pickups like bare knuckle pickup versus a cheap Chinese-made pickup like Dragonfire pickups, so people can realize they don't have to spend $300 on a set of pickups. Still proves people listen with their eyes and dollars rather than their ears.
That's the thing that blows my mind. I've shown over and over and over again that the one thing you really need to worry about more than anything about your guitar tone is the speaker, and so many people fight me about that. I just don't get it. I've actually got a video I'm working on this week about the importance of the speaker, and I'm going to take some quotes from some people who are basically laughing at the notion of improving your speaker, and it's kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's take a look at things, shall we? It's going to be awful fun. Hope you're subscribed for that. And oh yeah, by the way, guys, we're getting ever closer to hitting 500,000 subscribers. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it would be a massive help. And as it stands right now, when I hit 500,000 subscribers, I'm not going to do like Stevie T and kick a water bottle. I'm just going to kick Stevie T.
How dare you bring science to the table, Glenn?
I just got tired of listening to bullshit. That's how.
I was like, fuck, the sound actually changes. You bastard, Glenn.
Glad you enjoyed that, man. Yeah, as I was editing that video, I'm like, should I be changing my last name to Snow? Because I am a complete bastard in this video.
Okay, color me convinced. I suspect there was a far more legit argument to be made for this in the late 70s and early 80s, when a significant amount of distortion commonly came from overdriving the power amp section of the amp, and the opportunities for boosting your signal were limited. These days, most people sculpt their tone well in advance of the power valves, so...
Dude, I think you might be onto something there. That actually sounds plausible. You are absolutely right, back when people are playing, Marshalls with no master volume, or even like Trainer YB1As, like way back here. They're very, very, very loud amps. That's why Eddie Van Halen had to use a Variac to turn his amp down, but to still get the power tubes to saturate, that kind of thing. So yeah, hotter pickups would make all the difference. And I think that might have just carried over into modern conventions. I think there's a very, very good case to be made for that. It's kind of like, when we started working with digital, the early engineers didn't know that you couldn't clip it. And then people say, well, it sounds brittle. And for some stupid reason, that carried on for a very long time, even though the sonic fidelity of digital recordings just blew the doors off of tape. Because it could still go, well, it still sounds brittle, because they knew it was digital. Once again, human perception being flawed. So that's a very interesting hypothesis. Maybe that's something that could be investigated as well. And I will say this, though, when we did the blind guitar shootout there, I will say this, the individual tones of the guitars really did start to vanish as soon as we put a little bit of gain on the signal. So I think the notion that pickups have a wider variety of tone might be something much more applicable to clean players than metal players. At least that's the theory. Anyway, it's something that definitely needs to be investigated a little bit further, in my opinion.
I'm not sure what to think. I have a Les Paul with EMGs, another Les Paul with Fishmans, and another Les Paul with PAF style pickups. The PAF's definitely brighter, and the Fishmans have more mid-range. I can hear the difference in mids with how my pedals react.
Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, I picked up this guitar and go, okay, that's cool. And then pick up this guitar that's loaded with EMGs and play that and record that as well. And then I play and think, wow, they sound completely different. And then I play them back in my DAW and go, holy fuck, they really aren't different. So here's the thing, perception is definitely flawed. What we might be hearing acoustically sitting in our laps doesn't always translate into a recorded signal. keep that in mind and always, always, always record your tests. That way you have a frame of reference. And believe me, I'm not surprised in the slightest that almost nobody does that. And what's even more unsurprising is even though we've all got access to this amazing, super affordable recording equipment, nobody actually wants to go through the hassle of, hooking up a mic and pressing the record button because that's too difficult.
Glenn, I love the channel and the excellent content. However, your USB of constantly shouting at me is really starting to wear a bit thin. You're far too intelligent to demean yourself in this manner, and to some extent it's completely counterintuitive. I want to learn from you, but I feel like I'm constantly being berating for not understanding anything without it being yelled at me. Trust me, the idiots who don't understand your well-thought-out arguments and demonstrations regarding tone are unlikely to respond positively to the relentless decibel onslaught anyway, so why bother? Please credit it with me with a genuine thirst for education and not a naughty dog who's just a shat in your slippers.
Well, Steve, thanks so much for writing in. I really do appreciate that comment. And here's the thing. I'm certainly not yelling at you, so don't take it personally. Obviously, you've got something going on upstairs there, and I think that's fucking awesome. The problem is, the reason I have to yell is because most musicians were too fucking cool to wear hearing protection at band practice.
Wire wrapped around a magnet. That's all they are. And boy, people get mad when you mention that. I love it when groups and talk about needing this new Seymour Duncan to get the tone they're after, or the Gibson groups that buy $300 set of magic tone pickups before the guitar even gets to them, or the magic paper in oil caps. But that's another video. You can get a set of perfectly good pickups for less than $60 every day.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take a wild guess here that on those forums, nobody ever talks about changing speakers.
Just imagine how much money has been wasted on total shit due to chasing the tone rabbit.
Kind of fucking pathetic, isn't it?
Hey Glenn, thank you man. Thanks for being there and giving us all experiments that really count. Don't let all these idiots influence you with their nonsense opinions. This is priceless.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I'm glad you got some use out of that pickup shootout video. And if you haven't watched it, there's a link to it right here. It's definitely a bit of an eye-opener, that's for sure. If you're in the market for new pickups, you might want to watch that before spending any kind of money. Anyway, I'll keep making the experiments. I'll keep backing up my stuff with verifiable evidence. And I gotta admit, the one regret I have with making that video was I did not take a DI. I kind of broke my own taboo there. Next time I do something like that, I'm gonna see if I can make those files available for download so you guys can check them out at your leisure and analyze things however you see fit. I think that might be a little bit more cool. Anyway, once again, if you're looking to really beef up your guitar tone and you're working with some amp sims or whatnot, check out the free IR download. I've got the link in the description below, and it's the new 2023 Vintage 30 IR from me to you just as a free gift, as my way of saying thank you for being awesome and watching the show and coming back week after week after week. This really is the greatest job I could have ever asked for, and you guys make that possible. And for that, I'm fucking grateful. That being said, please hit the subscribe button. I'm getting ever closer to 500,000 subscribers. And if you want to see me kick Stevie T, we're going to make that happen. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing weekend. And please check out the pickup shootout video here if you haven't already. It's definitely an eye-opener, especially if you're considering dropping money on new pickups. Spoiler alert, you might want to rethink that.